Hello YouTube. This is my first video. I'm gonna talk about my dreads. Hey guys! 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 Hi! Hey guys! It's Scooby. Today I'm here with a surprise dread video, which I know what you're thinking. You're probably new to my channel, and I don't have dreadlocks, which is kind of concerning to someone that wants to learn about dreadlocks. But I promise you, I have had dreadlocks over 3 times, and I have had them within a span of 10 years, at least 5 of the years. So I'd like to say I've got a little bit of experience. And actually, so does my friend. She texted me the other day. She just moved away. It's Lacey. Hello, Lacey. I know you're watching, so I love you. She just moved to a neighboring state. She texted me the other day, and she said, "Okay, girl, I need your opinions on dreads. I've watched all your dread videos, and I'm so damn close to taking the leap, but I need some perspective." Which I thought was really interesting because, you know, I don't have dreads anymore. But she does know that I had them for a while. And so I asked what kind of opinions she needed, and the answer, the questions she gave me made me think like that a lot of other people that are probably struggling with like the decision to get dreads or not also want to hear this information. So I did reply to her in text messages, but I also told her that I'd really like to make a video on this and would it be okay if I used her questions, which she said was cool. So here we are, making another dreadie video 2 years after my dreadies. Alright. So maybe I should give you some history. My first set of dreadlocks I got in 9th grade, so I was 14, and I did them at like 1 in the morning, and I didn't do all of them. I did like 3 dreadlocks, okay. I decided I would do 1, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is so much cool and so much fun, I have to do more. So I ended up, by the morning, I had like my whole bottom, like 1 layer done. I had 4 dreads back there. 4 dreads back there. Okay, whatever. 4 dreads back there. And then the sectioning was really hard, so I would take them out and put them back in. I think my first set lasted about 3 months, and then I took them out. I took them out in school, and everyone hated it because it was like I had a bag of hair, and it was really weird. But I actually have a video on how to take out my dreadlocks. Not just mine, but anyone's, like my strategy of taking out dreadlocks. I'll go ahead and link that in the eye, which is in one of these corners. Maybe someday I'll figure out which corner it is because it's backwards in my real life than it is like when I'm looking. It's hard. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, so I took them out and then I would put them back in, and then I think I had those ones for 4 or 6 months, and I took them out again. And then I lasted probably only like 2 months before I decided that I wanted dreadlocks again. So my first 2 times I had them, I did the twist and rip method, which I can link videos to. Oh, and I learned, so like when I was in 9th grade, like studying dreadlocks and stuff on the internet, I learned from a girl named Harriet on YouTube way back in like 2010, like baby YouTube time. So if I can find her, I'll like put a link in the description so you guys can check out her videos that I learned from too, because they were like my favorite thing to watch in the world. So I learned from her, and I took them out and I redid them, and it was twist and rip method. I've never used the backcomb method. And then the longest set of dreads I had was natural, like neglect method, which honestly took so long. And they were a little bit harder to get out. But more recently, I think 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I got a set of dreads. I had them 1 whole year. All of my videos on that set are in my channel. I can link you to the playlist somewhere, either up in one of these or maybe down in there, maybe both, I don't know. But all of my dreadlock videos were from that set of dreads, which was also twist and rip, but I used a method, because my hair is really short, I like created a method for applying extensions without the issue of them falling out, because I had used extensions before, but they all fell out after like a couple months. After my hair really started getting real dready, they fell out. So I did that method, which I can link you to right up here or up there, because I don't know which way it is. But that's how I got my last set of dreadlocks, which I lasted a year in, and then I took them out, and that time I really only got them because I didn't like my short hair, and with the extensions I could lengthen my hair and let it grow, and then when I took them out it would be longer. So when I took them out they were about here. Actually, I think I have a video to that too, so there's that. So I think that's enough background information, maybe, kinda. So I think I'll give you some of the questions she asked. She asks about employment. Is she going to be fucked? Once you get dreads, are you going to be fucked for employment? Which, in my case, I had never gotten, like, fucked out of employment. I got a job, my first job I ever got, I had my neglect dreads, and man, they were wild. Like, I'll insert some pictures, but they were wild. And I got a job at Subway. I was 18, and I got a job at Subway. It was my first job. Wasn't hard at all. I think it was like the first place I applied for, so it like wasn't an issue at all. And then the second job that I got with dreadlocks was this one that I'm in now, the news that I work at. And honestly, the way I did it, I'll try and find a video of the hairstyle I used, but I wore a headband and then like tucked my dreads up and around the headband like that, you know? Like that. So then all my hair was up, wrapped around a headband. And my boss told me that he didn't even know I had dreadlocks. That someone asked him, hey, did you hire that girl with dreadlocks? And my boss was like, she had dreadlocks? So that's pretty cool. I think for employment, as long as you keep them neat and they're not like really nasty looking, I think you're gonna be fine. And then like definitely put on some mascara, throw your hair up into like maybe like a top bun, or just a style that makes it look really put together. Because dreadlocks don't look put together, but there's ways that you can style them to look put together on purpose for these kinds of situations. So that's my thoughts on employment. I never had an issue with it. I think, there was, my mom has dreadlocks, and I think she either got at least 1 or 2 jobs while having dreadlocks, and she was a nurse. She was like an RN, a registered nurse, and she could get jobs. So, I mean, any type of field, I feel like as long as you're presentable and you have a good personality, your hair really doesn't matter that much, as long as it's not like, you know? So, yeah, like from the lower scale end of like Subway and like a Fresh Market News to all the way to being an RN, a registered nurse, you can get a job. It's all about how you present yourself. Don't be a slob. She also asked about societal change, maybe like in treatment of yourself from others. And honestly, the whole time I've had dreads, one of the reasons I would wear them was to stand out. I wanted to be different from the average. So I really was quite able to block out most of the negativity, so much that I honestly don't remember getting a negative comment. Really, the most negative thing I remember from people is when they would say, ew, you must not wash your hair. And then that wasn't even that negative, because I could take the time to stop and enlighten them and be like, yeah, I wash my hair as frequently or infrequently as I want. I could wash it every single day. It gets a little dry up in the scalp area, but you could do it. But you don't have to. And it's really not dirty. It's not like your dreads are getting, if they're getting dipped in stuff, you should wash them. But that's really just the questions and like the misconceptions about dreads from social people. was really my only negative, which really I don't even consider a negative because I loved to tell people and explain how dreads really work and how they're not really disgusting. They can be, don't get me wrong, there's some nasty ones, but you can take care of yourself with dreads or without dreads and you're still a clean person. The good thing about society that I noticed was that I got a lot of compliments on my dreads. Not so much in the first year or so of my neglect dreads. Actually, my boyfriend at the time, I would go to school and he'd be like, "Why don't you brush your hair?" And I'd have to remind him, like, I'm making dreadlocks. So that was kind of weird. But most of the time, they were really cool compliments. I remember in one of my high schools, a black boy came up to me and was like, "Oh my gosh, those are the best white girl dreads I've ever seen." And that's really stuck with me because that's like almost definitely empowering. And just, I honestly liked the weird looks. There are weird looks. People can't control their face. They're gonna look at you weird. But if you like having attention and if you like standing out, I think it's a good choice to make. It's like really different. So she also asked about the change in perception of yourself. And for me, that was a big one. I just got a text message, so now I'm off train of thought. Change in perception. Okay, so for me, I was like, I got them in high school, so like high school is a really like kind of like a changing point or like a finding yourself point, and I really wanted to stand out from the crowd, from everyone else that's in high school with the regular hair and the regular colors. And before that I'd been pink, I'd been blue. I really wanted to stand out and I wanted to be different. And the dreadlocks really gave me the ability to feel like I really was different and I really was taking a stand for my life and my appearance and showing people that I'm not afraid to look how I want to look. So the change in my perception of myself was for the better. I've also had times, like this last recent one, where I really wasn't enjoying them anymore. I wasn't enjoying the way they felt like when I'd move them. I didn't enjoy the scratchiness. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore, so I changed it. So the change in perception of yourself really has to do more with like how ready you are for change or for being a standout, because you don't just pass someone with dreads on the street and not notice. I take notice. I honestly try to compliment every single set of dreads every single set of dreads that I see out on the streets, which in my town is becoming more and more, which is like really cool. So we're letting a little freak flag fly. She asks about my experience, which I think that this like whole video is kind of talking about, so I'm not gonna like hit that by itself because it's like the whole video. She also asks about combing them out, and she asks if it's doable without ruining your hair. This is one of the most, one of the biggest misconceptions about dreadlocks, is that you have to shave your head afterwards. Maybe you do when you back comb, and maybe different hair types do, but my straight white girl hair was easily comb outable of the twist and rip method and of the neglect method. The neglect method was a little bit harder than the twist and rip to comb out, and I'll link you to my video of how I comb them out. I use a fork, so if you want to know more about taking them out, go check that out. But my experiences in taking them out have always, like, there's good and bad. So once they're all the way out, and I've washed it a few times, you know, because it's real nappy when you take them out. But after you've washed them a few times, not them, the hair, because it's normal hair now, it really feels a lot healthier than when I would have put them into dreads. Like, I take them out and they've like, every strand has strengthened and been nourished, and my hair looks better and feels better and is stronger than when I put my dreads in. I think that has a lot to do with like the oils that get stuck in there. They take a long time to get out. I think each dread, if my hair were this long, would take at least an hour to 2 hours to get out, like each one. So like a section like this big would take an hour to comb out with my fork method. It takes so long. So the coming out method, or the taking it out, would usually, if I'm like getting at it, it could take 2 days. But if I'm doing it real slow, I think one of them took me a few months. I would do like 1 or 2 a week and get them out really slowly. I would like have a ponytail of them on the top and have regular hair underneath. I think I also did it the other way once, where I took them out from the top and had regular hair on the top and then had my dreadlocks on the bottom. My one thing about that is that having hair and dreadlocks was really irritating for me. I would go to brush the regular hair, you know, and it would get stuck in the dreadlocks. And then like I would put the dreadlocks up and I'd go to brush the regular hair and it'd get stuck in the dreadlocks. And then whatever dreadlocks are right next to the regular hair always got really, really fat because it was picking up and velcroing the hair that was loose that I had out of dreadlocks. I've never used the back comb method, so I don't actually know if that would make a difference when trying to take your dreadlocks out. But honestly, I've had some pretty good experiences taking them out. Just make sure you don't rush and try not to rip too much of it, because when you're taking out your dreadlocks, you've got to think about it. If you've had them for a year, there's at least 50 to 20 strands that would come out per day, like when you're regularly brushing. Like when you wake up and brush your hair fills up, or your comb fills up with hair when you have regular hair. So when you have dreadlocks, those aren't falling out. They're detaching from your head. So I think I touched about every subject that she had questions about. If you guys have more questions, feel free to ask me. I love talking about dreads. Honestly, I would love to get dreads again. I just want my hair to be longer because dreads take a really long time to grow. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope maybe it gave you some insight onto whether or not you want dreads in your life. If you'd like to see some more of my dread videos, I will have the playlist linked in the description box. And if you'd like to just continue hanging out with me, even though I don't have dreads anymore, still do some pretty cool stuff. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because that'd be way cool. And if you liked this video at all, totally give me a thumbs up so that I know and I can continue making things that you guys like. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!